Well, good morning everyone and welcome back to the Bush Block Homestead. We've got a little bit of a project on today with the chook waterer. So the waterers we use for the chickens are these water containers here, which it clips into the base, turn it over, and you just fill that top reservoir with water. And as the chickens drink, as they just are there now, the water trickles down and keeps that top tray full. But we've been having a bit of trouble with this guy here, the rooster, attacking Mrs. Bush Block and Little Miss Bush Block, and we don't want any injuries, so we're going to change from this system to a system that can be filled up from the outside. We'll still have to go in to check eggs and feed them, but this will just make the watering process a lot easier. So what we've got to replace that watering system are these little cups. They're like a little float valve system. You can see the little valve in there. You can see the size of them compared to my hand. And I've got some 20mm fittings. That's a 20mm PVC cap there that I've drilled and tapped, and I've just screwed that in there with a little bit of silicone around the thread. You might be able to see the threaded fitting. So I've just threaded that up through. So that blue floats up, and that pushes that down, and that'll seal the water, and that keeps that cup full of water as they drink. So what I'm basically doing, I'm making a manifold out of PVC pipe, and then a hose will feed that manifold, and we'll be using one of these blue barrels on the outside of the chicken cage, which will be the reservoir for the drinkers, which will feed the manifold. So I'm just going to start building that now. I'm just building the manifold out of PVC, and I'm putting 2 drinkers on each set up. So I've got one tank for one chicken cage, and this will be another one for the other chicken cage. So let's get started. You can hear I've just dry fitted all these fittings together, and the drinkers will go one each side there, and at the top we've got a fitting which will be fed by some tubing from one of those reservoirs. We'll just head out to the chook pen and see how we'll mount this. So what I was thinking was using one of these poles on the side and just sort of cable tying to the pole, and just have that height adjusted so the chickens can reach, and the drinkers will be on the bottom, and just cable tying to the side of the pole like so. I might have to 45 might have to put the elbow at the top of 90, so I can just strap that with cable ties and run the hose in through the side from the reservoir on the outside, which will be on a stand or a couple of bricks for now. Now that should work well. And there you can see our 2 drinking manifolds for the chickens, so they can drink out of each container there, and that'll zip tie to the pole on the cage, and then we'll run pipe into the inside there to feed the manifold. Obviously you can paint that up and make it look nice and neat if you wanted to, but won't bother about that, being it's only in the chook pen. We've got our waters all installed now. As you can see, I've got a blue container up there feeding it, so we'll go and have a closer look. Got the roosters checking us out. So we've got our container on the outside where we can just keep this filled up. We've got our line running on the inside, and you can see there we've got water inside the cup, and there's 2 cups. Have a better look here. There we go. And now the chooks just use that for their water. In this cage here we've just got our Bantam chickens. We took the 2 reds out. We've got 3 extra Bantams in here now. You can see them sitting up top. rooster, he's checking me out. And then the other cage next door, which also has the electric netting around it to give them a big run area. We also have our box trailer, which is converted into nesting boxes and perches inside. We've got the water set up there, but we haven't yet got the container hooked up to it. They're just using that green water down the end. Once we get another container with a tap, I'll be able to connect that up. And these chickens love to peck at your legs for some reason when you come in here, as you can see. They enjoy it in here. We've got our pile of old newspaper and cardboard boxes there just for using as mulch, and we'll let the chickens go through all that and scratch about, and no doubt there's some termites and that around the bottom of that. So yeah, they've got all this area here, all around the pen, and as well as the pen itself. Going to put a few more shade cloths over the top and finish the watering system on this side here. Thanks again for joining us on the Bush Block Homestead. We'll catch you again next time. See ya.